So I'm gonna preface this one. This camera sucks. I'm gonna preface this one by saying that all my videos are parody. Not one of my uploaded videos is to be taken seriously. Okay? That is the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is that if you're young, you shouldn't listen to anything I say. Period. Parody, not parody. If you're young, under the age of 18, even if you're 18, go watch Mr. Beast. Click off this video. If you're 18, you can hang out. But just know that all of my videos are parody. And nothing that I'm saying is to be taken seriously. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to tell you today how I feel some energy right now. I'm going to tell you today how you can become attractive. And it's actually pretty easy. It's easy, it's simple, and all you need is this one weird trick. I call it not eating. Some people call it fasting. Some people call it starving yourself. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what you call it, okay? But if you eat less food, you will become more attractive. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you how. So, why is it that when you don't eat food, you become more attractive? Well, let me break it down for you. Now, we'll put this in the simplest terms that I can. If you are skinnier 99.9% of the time, you will look more attractive. Now, if you're already skinny, this does not apply to you. But if you have even a little bit of a gut, like I got a gut here. It's not huge, okay? It's been bigger before, but it's there. I'm not gonna lift my shirt, you fucking freak. But the gut is there. And so even though I'm not fat by any stretch of the imagination, there is fat on me. And so chances are you're like that because almost everybody is like that. Unless you have a crazy fast metabolism, or you're just already skinny, maybe you just don't like food. Okay, I can't relate to you, but for people like me, if you just stop eating food, you will get skinnier, and then you will become more attractive. It's the truth. It's the truth. And I don't really know why it's like that, but I have some ideas. One of those ideas is this: to enjoy food on a more normal level, like you or I would say we're your average person. We enjoy food in a reasonable manner. Perhaps we like to indulge in sweets. And even with the discipline that we have, because we have some, because if we didn't have any, we'd be huge whales, beluga whales. We have a little discipline, and as a result, we're only a little fat. But to become skinny is to have so much discipline, so much I would even say stoicism. So much mental strength comes from, but it takes a lot of mental strength to not eat food, obviously, because you need it to live. And so when you're skinnier, it shows mental strength. And I feel like that correlates with attractiveness on some level. But there's also what the eye beholds. And I think the eye just enjoys, slim face, a cut face, six pack, the Adonis thing, the V. You ladies know what I'm talking about, the V. Everybody loves the V. So what I'm saying here, I'm not talking about the vagina, by the way, okay? I'm talking about the thing right there, I don't know what the Adonis belt, is that what they call it? Everybody loves the Adonis belt, okay? And the scientific reasoning for why that is not that important. What is important is that everybody loves it. Everybody loves it, dude. They roll out, sorry for blowing smoke in your face, they roll out the red carpet for people with the V taper, with the Adonis belt. They roll out the red carpet. The limousine pulls up and you walk out with your 4-pack. You don't even need a 6-pack anymore. Your chiseled jaw, your V, they roll out the red carpet. They give you free drinks. They praise you as a hero. And that all comes from being skinny. That all comes from being skinny. Actually, more accurately, it comes from being attractive, which you are more likely to be if you are skinny. And I know that these words might cause some controversy, but it's because they're the truth. That's why they that's why they cause controversy. Commenters go crazy. Haters, start your engines. I hear them gearing up or rearing up. You know what I'm trying to say. And okay, let's talk about the second part. Let's move on. Let's talk about how. How can we get skinny? Now, before you call me like body dysmorphic, or before you say I have an eating disorder, okay, miss me with all of that. I don't have anything like that. I know exactly where I stand, okay? I know exactly where I stand. And I eat fine, okay? How do you lose weight without it being an eating disorder, without it being body dysmorphia? How can you do it in a healthy way? I don't give a fuck how you do it in a healthy way. I'm here to tell you how to do it, period. So, this might not be healthy to some people, but to me it is. It's called fasting. It's called fasting, everybody. And they've done it since the dawn of time. People thousands of years ago would not eat anything in order to connect themselves to the spiritual world, which in itself is also kind of attractive. But I digress. The bottom line is people have been starving themselves, quote unquote, forever. And it actually kind of works. It definitely works. I've done it before. So how do you fast in a safe way? Well, what I would say is, first of all, take your time. Okay, ease yourself into it. If you get the shakes, if you're shaking because you haven't had breakfast, maybe try just skipping breakfast once a week. And then maybe you stop getting the shakes if you don't eat breakfast. And then you can maybe skip lunch. And then maybe one day you can not eat at all. And you can handle that because you've practiced, you've trained for this. That's the first thing. The second thing is, when you break your fast, don't do it with McDonald's. Don't do it with the slop of old. Just eat something normal. Even like a oven baked pizza, like a DiGiorno's. You can break your fast with that because you spent the whole day not eating. And then the next day you can kind of eat whatever you want. No matter what you eat, you probably won't catch up to all those lost calories from the day before, from not eating. And so it's kind of like a bulletproof method of losing weight. And, you know, a lot of times people will give this advice. This isn't advice, by the way. This is just me speaking. I'm not giving you advice. I would never do that. But I'm just speaking here. What I'm saying is, when a lot of people say what I'm saying, people say, well, you'll crash out and then just gain all the way back. And some people definitely do that. You don't have to be that person. You can lose all this weight. And then the trick, see, what everybody gets wrong is they assume that you fast for like, I don't know, 3 months, lose some weight, go back to your old ways. The art of not eating is for life. You have to implement that into your lifestyle. That is what you have to do. And that's how you prevent crashing out. So you got to do it forever. But it's actually not that bad. For the most part. You can also go back to being fat anytime that you want. But it is of my opinion that making fasting a part of your life will drastically improve it for many reasons. Okay? There are actually a lot of benefits to fasting, and I encourage you to look them up. But the most important thing, the reason why I'm even talking about it, is because it makes you more attractive. And you want to be more attractive, right? Of course you do. Everybody does. So that's how you do it. You just start fasting. And I'm not your doctor. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but that's how you do it. And that's how you become attractive. If you're unhappy with how attractive you are right now, that is one really good thing you can start doing, is fasting. Or as I like to call it, not eating. So, me personally, I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm going to start doing keto. And I think I'm going to lose a lot of weight. And I look forward to showing you that in these videos. We can talk about everything, you know, there are many ways to improve your looks. There are many ways you can looks max. But to me, the number one best way to looks max, the first thing you can do right now to looks max, you can start fasting. And I think that will do wonders for your skin, body, face, your eye bags, whatever's ugly about you. I think fasting really helps with that. So you should do that. And then we can move on to the next steps. But the number one thing is fasting. And then you can exercise, and then you can take showers. I don't know. You can groom your hair, whatever. Okay, I don't care. You can bone smash. I don't care. But the number one thing that you have to do before you do anything else, you have to start fasting. You got to stop eating so much food. And I'll say one more thing. When you do eat food, on the rare occasions that you do eat food, just make it good. Make it good. And also, I'll also say one more thing that's a little more nuanced. Not eating is kind of lit because you don't have to cook, clean dishes, order food as much. Life actually becomes kind of easier the less you eat for a multitude of reasons. You feel lighter, you're more clear-headed, at least in my case. Maybe it's different for you, but that's how I feel when I fast. Clear-headed, light on my feet. A lot of the time I feel energized, unless I'm going for multi-day fasting, which I don't recommend. But yeah, I mean, you just It's easier to move, easier to breathe, easier to, I don't know. Everything is easier when you fast, I feel like. The only hard part is not eating food, but how hard is that? You just have to not eat it. That's all you have to do. Start not eating. Okay, Gandhi did it. It was good for Gandhi. Gandhi changed the damn world by not eating. It's got to be decent. It's got to be a decent move sometimes. Or stay fat. You can do that too.